everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Unlocking Life, where we dig deep to get to know the person behind the business. Before we get started, we just want to remind you to watch until the very end. We are doing a secret word contest, and you'll have a chance to win a gift card from a local something, probably coffee shop. You never know.
You never know. That's the beauty of hanging out with us. I'm Echo with Life of Echo.
And I'm Indy with Relationships Unlocked. Let us introduce this month's guest, our very own Echo. Yay!
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yay. So, what do we need to know about you? Tell us the what and why of what you do.
Yes. Well, I am the owner and founder of Life of Echo, and my main focuses are mental fitness coaching, emotional fitness coaching, and women's self defense. I left corporate America about 4 years ago. I had worked my whole life to climb the wrong mountain. And I got up there to the top, and I was there for 6 months, and I thought, I don't think this is right for me. Yep. And so I put a meeting on my boss's calendar 6 months out and said, if I still feel this way in 6 months, I need to leave and do something different. And I still felt completely drained and unrewarded every single day. So I left, and I tried a lot of different things, trying to figure out kind of where I fit and what worked for me. And I'm now approaching year 4, and I'm kind of settled into my tripod, if you will, of things that help people feel emotionally, mentally, physically safe.
That's awesome. I love that. And it's scary to not know the plan before you leave the well-paying job.
Right.
Very scary, I can imagine.
Yeah, I got super frugal, and I mean, it's amazing what you can do around funds when you need to.
Oh, yeah.
But I was not willing to sell my soul. And it was sucking the life out of me, so it's time for something.
Yeah, that's not okay. And I tell my son, because he's so afraid of failure to the point that he won't try anything. And I mean, he is so like it's a like crippling fear for him, and has been, his whole life. And so we had a long talk when I was going to Iowa to pick him up, and he called me and we chatted, and I said, dude, like, it's not failure if you try something and it's not your thing.
Totally.
It's okay to not like something. You just find something different to try.
Right.
And he's like, I never thought of it that way. I'm like, yeah, it's not failure. It's failure if you either give up, without giving it its due diligence, or you don't try at all.
Totally. Well, you don't know what you don't like until you do something, and you're like, oh, I do not like this.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you think it's something that you might like, give it a try. Yeah. So,
yeah. Same with things we do like, though, too, right? We don't know what we like until we try it, and we're like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah,
so
this is my thing.
Try it all.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well,
today our topic is she's not the same woman, and that's the point. So let's unlock 55 seconds-ish of science. What I found very interesting when I was researching women around the age of 50-ish, because that's what I am, it's considered midlife. And midlife is officially, obviously, anyone's midlife. You don't know what their midlife was until they've moved on and passed on from this physical life. But midlife generally for women is anywhere from 40 to 60 years old. And it's considered the midlife because of the biological transitions, which is menopause, pretty much. In addition to menopause and those hormones changing, women in midlife experience higher stress and health risks. We see a lot of osteoporosis and heart disease appear in this stage. And then, of course, those things that we really notice and can feel like hot flashes and sleep disturbances increase immensely. Other things, though, that increase for women that are more kind of mental and emotionally, an increase in wanting personal freedom and realignment for their life, which I love. Women tend to focus on big career changes at this point in their life. 1 in 3 women between the ages of 40 and 60 start a new career, and 90% of them find themselves to be much, much happier after this change, having much higher satisfaction.
You're not the same person you were when you started.
Totally. So I thought that was super interesting. 50% of women in this age range start new adventurous activities, whether it's hiking when they've not hiked, or kayaking, a lot of things, getting out and back into nature. Really start to think about unfulfilled personal goals, which makes me think of bucket lists, like we talked about last month, and really a big desire to stop putting themselves last, especially those who are mothers and or wives and or taking care of parents. So all this is going on.
Your kids are probably either older teens or young adults, and now you're trying to find your identity. So, and putting yourself, you've always been putting somebody else first, and now it's your turn.
Your turn.
So that makes sense.
Sadly, 2 of the 3 divorces in this age range are initiated by women. So that was a sad statistic. Women are not feeling as happy in their relationships, which you'll share some of that here in a
Hmm.
second. But I did just want to point out that they're talking about midlife being this physical age from 40 to 60 and a woman wanting to make all these changes. But I just want to say that women, ladies, no matter your age, we can change emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually at any age.
And we
At
do.
any age, that things don't feel right for us any
Hmm.
longer. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a midlife. It doesn't have to be a crisis. I don't
Right.
like that word. It's just ready for change.
And I wonder, the divorce one, I wonder how much of that co-aligns with men going through midlife,
Sure.
because they're also changing.
Mhm.
And, the woman's like, okay, you're not the same person. Well, neither are you. And, da, da, da.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much of that merges, goes together.
Well, I did read something about where women are trying to again meet unfulfilled goals and learn
Hmm.
about themselves and be aligned. Men are more worried about their loss of
Manliness.
virility and how they look
Manliness.
and and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
definitely different priorities
Hmm.
tend to come forward at that age for the different genders.
And as the relationship specialist, I would say that shouldn't matter. You can still have a successful relationship, as you're both figuring these things out. You just figure them out together. It's like a whole new relationship. Like, ooh, how exciting. We're different people now. Let's date again. And but anyway.
If you're worried about a midlife relationship, please talk to Mindy because I think humans go into this age and they're not prepared for that relationship
Mhm.
piece. So, Mindy, why don't you help us unwrap this a little bit from a relationship lens?
Yes. And I apologize. It's going to be a little long. It's really, really good. Okay. So, a woman's life tends to move through a series of internal and external transitions, and each one quietly reshapes how she shows up in her relationships. In early adulthood, relationships are often influenced by identity building, figuring out boundaries, communication styles, and what feels aligned versus what was inherited from family or past experiences. There can be a strong pull between independence and connection, which sometimes creates tension, wanting closeness but also needing space to become fully herself. During this stage, relationships often act as mirrors, reflecting both wounds and growth areas, especially around self worth, attachment, and emotional expression. As life deepens, through long term partnerships, career shifts, motherhood, if that's part of her path, or major life events, a woman's relational needs often evolve. Emotional labor, mental load, and shifting priorities can begin to impact how she connects with a partner. Communication may become more complex, not because the relationship is failing, but because there's simply more to hold. Many women find themselves renegotiating roles, redefining intimacy, and craving a deeper level of understanding and partnership. This is often a stage where unspoken expectations surface and where the quality of communication becomes one of the most defining factors in relationship satisfaction. That's like what I preach is communication and setting up expectations. Anyway, midlife can bring one of the most profound relational shifts. As a woman becomes more rooted in her identity, there is often less tolerance for misalignment and a stronger desire for authenticity. This can lead to relationships either deepening in a meaningful way or being reevaluated altogether. Hormonal changes, shifting family dynamics, and a renewed focus on personal fulfillment can all influence emotional availability and desire for connection. For many, this is a time of reclaiming voice, speaking needs more clearly, setting firmer boundaries, and seeking relationships that feel reciprocal rather than one sided. Later stages of life often bring a different kind of clarity. There can be a softening alongside a strengthening, a deeper appreciation for connection, but also a clearer understanding of what truly matters. Relationships may become less about roles or expectations and more about presence, companionship, and emotional safety. Whether partnered or not, many women find a stronger sense of self trust and a more grounded approach to connection. Across all these stages, one thing remains consistent: relationships are not static, they evolve as she evolves. And the healthiest ones are the ones that are willing to grow with her rather than to hold her to who she used to be.
That is good.
So, and you got the emotional, like that whole midlife, like that was basically what you said. It was like the midlife part.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so the thing that really stood out was women become less tolerant and more authentic.
mhm,
And it's almost like we become more authentic and get to know ourselves, and then
mhm.
we're able to understand what we're going to tolerate or not. And then we start to set those
Exactly. And they're striving for authenticity. So it's we're evaluating our friend circle a little bit more, and we're kind of trying to figure out who our people are and who our people
boundaries. Right.
aren't. Because like they said, even without a partner, you're still looking for in any relationship. It's not just with a spouse.
Sure.
So
Well, I know as I've been going through this journey, I've really been able to recognize energies. And
Hmm.
it's like, I am not wasting another second of this precious life, however much I have left, on someone who's going to completely drain me.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. And it's hard because, like, for me, I'm an empath. So I suck up everybody's energy,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's good, whether it's bad, whatever. So it's hard for me to discern.
Mm.
Okay, is this person just having a bad day, or is this what I'm going to experience with them always?
Right, is this their pattern?
Hmm.
Takes a while sometimes to
Yeah.
learn to.
So yeah, so that's a little difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Different though between work world, right? I mean, work world and just personal. So maybe
Right.
easier to identify.
Oh
Sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. With the work stuff, it's with relationship coaching, you kind of you know what you're there for, you know what's happening, and I can separate myself very easily because what I tell them right from the get go is, I have no stake in this. This is, I'm just here to help, but I have no stake in this. None of what you decide affects me. Oh yeah. So there's no judgment. There's no, I'm not going to get mad, whatever, because I have no stake in this.
It's good for your clients to hear and good to remind yourself.
Yes, exactly. And it makes me relatable, which is important. Like they know that I've been through the things,
Right.
so.
So you're being full circle here.
Mhm.
Authentic.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
All right. So,
thank you for sharing. That was awesome.
of course, and thank you for your stats.
Yeah.
Really good things to know and
All
to
of
think
good and
about.
one sad, but all the rest pretty good.
Good to think about.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into our questions.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So look back to your 21-year-old self, and then look forward to being 50. So imagine you're 21, looking at what it's going to be like when you're 50. Are you anywhere near where you thought you'd be?
I'm going to say yes and no. Isn't that helpful?
So helpful. Oh my gosh.
Yes, because when I was 21, I did envision somehow having a family, and then I would have helped to raise children that are functioning members of society and that are happy and trust themselves and have good relationships. So in that realm, yes. But otherwise, I don't think at 21 I was thinking much about anything. I was kind of a partier and I was working just to work and pay rent. And I had started college for teaching and dropped out. And then I went back for general studies and dropped out again. And school was just not my thing. And I was just kind of doing the day to day thing. I never ever imagined I would be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I never imagined I would have spent almost 2 decades at in a corporate career. I wouldn't have seen any of that coming at all. My head was not in the space of really thinking past what's happening.
Yeah, you're in the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So
yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
Good and bad, I guess.
Right? But normal.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty normal.
Yeah.
So,
I've never been the type to think too terribly far ahead.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I used to worry when I was a little girl. I used to come to my mother crying, like, where am I going to buy furniture? And where am I going to get a refrigerator? And like literally at 5 years old.
Oh, you were really
I was,
ahead.
because we didn't have much. And I knew my mom struggled to buy that kind of stuff. So it was, I'm 5. Where am I going to get it? Because I couldn't put it together that I'll be an adult, and things will be different. It was me as my 5-year-old self as an adult, So, but yeah, no, I always worried about the future.
My mom just told me this weekend, she's like, man, she's like, I wish I would have done when you were little something differently around giving you choices. Like I would say, what do you want for dinner? And I, in response, would be like, oh, I don't know. That tonight, we're gonna have tomorrow. And she would have just said, hey, for dinner, do you want spaghetti or tacos? Right?
Just
but
give you
I
options.
never, ever was able to be comfortable making decisions. And now being asked that question now, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I just have always had a hard time making that decision. Once I made it and I'm in, and I'm in. But getting there's tricky. And when I'm 21 and I don't have to make those decisions, I was avoiding them, I guess.
I know that's hard. Like that's a hard thing for me too, is making decisions. Like, where do you want to go to eat? I don't know. Like, and then planning dinner, forget it. That's panic attacks.
Planning dinner though, planning food is like you're not even done with lunch and you're trying to think about what's for dinner, and it's every single day.
And then it's like, and then you got to think about it for the week because you have to go shopping. Yes. I hate it.
That could be a whole show.
That could be a whole show.
We should get like a chef on here to teach us tricks.
Oh my gosh, that's a
kills me.
Yeah. That's an absolutely great idea. All right, so I know, right? Get a chef. So looking at your physical health throughout your life, because we know that you've had, well, I know that you had some, some struggles here and there, and you can talk about that if you want to in your book and such. But what significant decisions have you made that affects your mental well-being?
It's a great question, because the biggest thing I ever did for my mental health was to start worrying more about my physical health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all tied together. I have type 1 diabetes. I've had type 1 diabetes for almost 40 years. And I was commuting. I was working in Springs, living in Denver, and I was commuting every day. And I was in an iffy relationship. And the kids were in high school, and everything was changing. And I went to get some labs done. And I went to the doc, and I got the results of those labs, and they were terrible. Like my A1C was higher than I expected. My cholesterol was high. She wanted to start me on a statin. And I remember leaving the parking lot, and I was on Colfax Avenue in Aurora. If you know Colfax, you know why it was so frustrating. And I was literally waiting for the light to turn to get on the highway, and I just like screamed. You know, you have those moments where you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't freaking do this anymore. And I decided just in that moment, I radically accepted that I was going to live and treat my body in a way that felt good. And I had never, ever done that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't ever, I took my insulin, I checked my blood sugar, I took my meds, but I didn't really equate how I felt when I had high blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just worked through it. So the next day I called my doc. I said, hey, doc, I'm not getting any labs done for a year and I'm not taking that statin. And Dr. Helen Lawler at Ann Shoots Endocrine, UC Health, please go see her. She's amazing. She was totally supportive of it. And yeah, I started paying attention to how my body felt when my blood sugars were this or were that. I went on a very, very intense food elimination diet and realized what foods physically not only just hurt my stomach like immediately, but what
Mm-hmm.
foods hurt my joints, what foods made me tired for the next however many days. And there's a lot of food sensitivities I have. And once I stopped looking at the data, which was really hard because I'm a data focused person, I started focusing on how I felt, which is not something I had done all my whole life. Everything changed. And I didn't get labs for 18 months. And
Wow.
when I went back and I went in, oh, chef's kiss, they were all perfect.
Yay.
Yeah. So for me, it worked. As far
Nice.
as that physical thing, as far as earlier we were talking about lights, like
Mm-hmm.
you need a lot of light, I need less light. So I started wearing my sunglasses in the grocery store. Like, I don't care what people think. This is what I need for me to feel comfortable and feel good in my own body. And
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
allowing myself that grace changed everything. So
And people give me not a hard time, but like they can't understand why I don't wear sunglasses very often and things like that. And I'm like, because I can see really well.
Yeah.
You know, like everything's clear.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So it's about focusing on me, which I hadn't done, and the kids were
mm-hmm.
graduating and didn't need quite the support they needed before. And it
So
was
you're like,
time. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
past time, and it changed everything.
Nice.
So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I love that. I don't know if I could do that. You know, like for me, it's I don't when I do eliminate things, I don't really notice a huge difference. You know, like I did a big elimination diet and I didn't really notice a big difference. Like I, you know, like I started new supplements and it's like, oh, how do you feel? Do you feel more? No, like I just my body doesn't. It's not like night and day with anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you know, okay, maybe it's helping, maybe it's not. We're not going to tell you. Yeah,
Maybe that's not the right.
right,
Right.
exactly. Supplement or whatever,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
yeah. But it's kind of like that with everything I've ever tried. So it's really frustrating. It really is
Yeah.
frustrating
It would be.
because I don't have that aha moment. You know, I don't have that. Okay, well, I added this back in, and now my joints hurt all of a sudden. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
You know, and the things that bothered me didn't change much, so maybe they weren't food related.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was life changing for sure. Just as far as
That's
getting
awesome.
to know myself.
Yeah, that's super important for me. Life changing was like figuring out my anxiety and things like that, like and getting on medicine, and that was absolutely life changing.
Sure.
All right, so next question. Let's talk about relationships since that's what I do. How has your emotional state been influencing the way you show up in your relationships, and how has that changed over time?
So I used to have a very unregulated nervous system, and the nervous system in the human body is really where we store those emotions,
Mm-hmm.
renewing and draining. And I think back to when my kids were little, I was very unregulated, and they went through divorce. And it was probably they were 12 or 13, and I had the opportunity to become through where I was working an emotional fitness coach. And so having to learn it to teach others, you can't help but change
Right.
that nervous system regulation. And I remember the first time I went home, and I don't even know how long I've been doing this work. And I went home, and one of the kids said something, and I responded in a way that was completely different than I'd ever responded before. And Hayden's head went like I was not expecting that, and that's because I was able to have a larger capacity for things that were stressful. When before my cup was so full, I wasn't able to put anything else in there, and I would just overreact, and I would lash out, and I would yell at the wrong people for the wrong reasons. and it was putting a really big divot in my relationship with my kids. I'm telling you, in that moment, everything changed. Another one of those
Nice.
aha things. And I really believe, had I not regulated my nervous system, I would not have as strong a relationship with my kids as I do now.
Yeah.
Because it was like just in time, I feel like I saved the opportunity for them to be
Mhm.
comfortable coming to me with anything without mom overreacting.
Right.
And with me just, they call it me chilling out.
Mhm.
And I was still the same person, but I was reacting to things much differently and prioritizing things differently
Mhm.
because of that calm nervous system.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
that sounds
can take
awesome.
that now into all relationships. But it started
Mm.
there.
I wouldn't mind calming down my nervous system. That'd be nice.
It takes a lot of work. It takes practice.
Right.
It's just like working out, right?
Mhm.
I can't go to the gym once, lift
Right.
weights, and have these great biceps,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
more over time and the
Mhm.
consistency.
Yeah.
Made it possible. And I have my moments, but I'm a
Don't we
pretty
all?
chill person. And like I had a
Mhm.
car fire last week, and I still managed all my stuff, and they didn't lose it one time. Me 10 years ago would have been hysterical,
Yeah.
sobbing on the floor mess for days. And I wasn't. So that's been
If
a
you
good
didn't catch that, she had a car fire
small car fire.
on her way to Missouri.
Yes.
Halfway through Kansas, her car burst into flames. So there's that part.
And I stayed pretty chill, and everything's not
Yeah.
fixed, but it's gonna be.
And you get to go shopping.
Get to do shopping, I
All
get a
new
new
stuff.
car, and priorities. I'm safe. The dog's safe. My medication was safe, and
Yeah,
my wallet was safe.
Your wallet and your
Yeah.
cell phone were saved.
Mhm.
I mean, the most important things.
Yeah.
So your puppy and
So yeah,
and
so
Madison.
fixing those external relationships depended on me working on myself
Mhm,
internally.
exactly. And it's still an ongoing, because I said, like, how does it change over time? I mean, I'm sure it's still an ongoing, it's like you didn't just like fix your nervous system and now you're like, okay, I'm great. It's kind of like you still have to go to the gym, you still have to maintain,
Maintain, that's a great word.
So,
Yeah. And I do.
So awesome. I love that. Yeah. And if anybody knows Echo, or you don't know Echo, you need to get to know Echo. She is very, very chill. It's kind of nice. It's just nice to have that, I mean, I like to think I'm pretty, I don't say chill, I'm pretty easy. I can get, but I tend to keep my, when I do get overstimulated or what, I try to keep it to myself, unless my kids do something that just really makes me mad. I might get a little, when they were younger, but I'm kind of chilled a little bit since then. So
it's about being calm on the inside and the outside.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing, is the inside.
Yeah,
like I can hide it well.
Yeah, like a duck. Ducks. They're all pretty on the water, swimming la la, but under the water, like their feet are going crazy, and that's what it's like having an unregulated nervous system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds nice. My cat just came in. The dog door. He brought me Mother's Day presents. Did you see my post?
Critters.
Yes. I came home from lunch and I hear this across the kitchen floor. It was the chipmunk.
You're like, that doesn't sound right.
Not okay. At least it was.
Did you get it out?
Yeah. Troy got it out with her broom. He was not happy. The chipmunk was not happy.
Troy was not happy.
Yeah, Troy wasn't really either, especially since he had taken care of the bird that morning.
One dead, one alive. Love Mom.
All right. So, next question: what's a belief you held about yourself for years that you've had to completely unlearn, and what replaced it?
Something that's been untrue is that I have to be busy to be worthy. That I have to be doing and doing and doing and doing to be valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on that, to be honest with you. I'm not completely replaced it. I'm learning more when I rest, just to be present and let myself rest. Because if I sit there resting and I feel guilt, then I'm not resting.
Right.
If I decide to read and I keep thinking about all the things I have to do, I'm not
enjoying
my book or my show or sitting in calm quiet. So that's been really hard. Learn that growing up. That was kind of the thinking, and then you get into corporate world, and that's the thinking. And the more you do, the more we give you to do. Is how it goes there. And then
what is it? If you can lean, you can clean. Like teach you, like when you're working in store, like a store, or a restaurant or something like that. You don't have. In other words, if you don't have something, you find something to do.
Right. Yeah. It was always do more with less. That's what everyone's doing. You can do it. That became the expectation. And just being okay with.
Taking a minute, taking a minute for yourself. I do that in the morning with my coffee and my shake, and my phone. And just give me like 15 minutes, and then I can jump into the day.
Or a whole day. I need a whole day to just putz around the house and catch up on
too.
shows. And why are we as society so against resting? Just rest. It's okay to rest.
You're not lazy.
You're allowed.
You're not lazy if you rest, and you don't have to constantly be doing something. It's okay to just veg.
It was always hard for me to go to someone else's house for a few days and hang out because at home, there's always a list. There's always something to do. And at someone else's house, I'm always like, what can I do? What can I help you with?
Right,
Can we play a
exactly.
game? Can I walk the dog? Like I just feel
Yeah.
like I have to be doing it. I'm very restless. And so,
I get that.
yeah.
Totally get that.
If anyone has any things that you replace this belief with of being busy makes you valuable, please let me know because I work on my mental fitness around it, but I haven't found a really good. There's been no aha moment, no trick that just lets me relax and
Just
enjoy
let
it.
me relax and enjoy.
Yeah, so I'm open to suggestions.
I just decided. I mean, for me, it helped me when my husband understood.
Oh, okay.
That I just need, like because I have so much. So there's going to be two because it stopped the recording.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, sorry. Action. So yeah, so for me with all the trouble with my sleep, all I want to do is sleep during the day. I actually sleep better during the day than I do at night. And if I sleep in or whatever, my husband would make jokes. He's like, "All right, come on, get up, lazy bones." And I'm like, "Don't call me lazy. I'm not lazy. I'm tired. There's a difference." And just over the years, he's grown to understand. Don't say, "Oh, you're turning into your mother," because my mom was lazy. And so it's things like that.
Sure.
Him coming to understanding, all right, this is medical, this is legitimate, this is,
Right.
and he sees me trying really hard to not let myself, get to that point, but also allowing myself, and I'll tell him, like, I just need to rest. I'm just really tired. He's like, okay,
So
you do
but
you.
he stopped the guilt trip. He stopped the little comments. He had to stop. Yeah.
Yep.
That would be really hard to be trying to rest with somebody who's not supportive.
Right. Or me assuming he's not supportive. Because not communicating and not having that conversation, when he's like, I really don't care. If you need to rest, go for it. He's like, it's really okay. Because I would be like, oh, what's he thinking? And, like I felt like I had to explain myself all the time. And he's like, no, you don't have to. He's like, just say you're tired. You're tired. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So, all right, next question. What was the moment that cracked you open spiritually? And what did you find on the other side of it?
Oh, that's a good question. Kind of another one of those aha moments. I received incorrect information, not true in the ending, that my year of death was going to be the age of 42. Like that was going to be my age span.
Okay.
And I was 38 and 3/4 when I got this information. And so at the moment I got it, I was like, whatever, ha ha ha. And then I carried on with whatever I was doing. And then on my way home, I started doing the maths. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like 2 1/4 to 3 1/4 years, right? Depending on what month of the age 42 I'm out. And I'm like, I need to think about what's really important to me. And I knew that I wanted to have a better relationship with my immediate family. I knew I wanted them to know how much I love and care about them, and I didn't want them to doubt it ever. Right. I was not sure of that. I knew I wanted my kids to, because they were 12 or 13 at the time, and maybe 16 or 17 at the age of my death. I wanted to make sure that they were ready. They knew I loved them and that they were ready to take care of themselves and know how to make mom's tater tot casserole. They've been doing a lot of things for themselves, their own laundry and of course chores and things like that. But I wanted to make sure that they really had opportunity.
They were set up and prepared.
Yeah. And then I decided to say yes as much as I could because in 3/4 to 3 3/4 years, how many times could I say yes to things that I really wanted to say yes to? And so I started immediately, and it was not hard once I paused to come to those priorities at all. Like nothing else mattered. Whatever my job was, whatever the money was in the bank, whatever, right? It was just about experiences that I got to have with those that I loved. And so a lot changed then. And I wouldn't say like jump into selling everything if you're not positive at the end of your life, right? But I was a little more spendy with experiences with the kids. We'd go to the museum. I was trying to make more memories that were less sitting at home because we're broke. And in that work, I found out, you know what, there's all kinds of ways to have experiences with your family without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah. So that was really impactful.
Sitting home playing board games. My kids have so many memories of that, that they still love to sit home and play board games because they're good memories.
Stopping at the park and ice cream when you're 15 and they complain until they're going down the slides and having fun on the swings, right? Things like that. Love it. Yeah. Start reaching out to my family more, my parents and my siblings, and stopping by and making a dedicated effort to be a part of their lives and have them as a part of mine.
I need to remember to call my dad. I haven't called him in a while. He had surgery,
So yeah, so
call
those
him.
were the three things, and then I'm not gonna joke, and I'm not gonna lie. I woke up on my 43rd birthday, and I was like a little disappointed because in my mind, for that first couple hours, I was like, I've been living this really amazing, great life that I love,
Mhm.
and now I did it because I was gonna die, and now I'm not dying. And it took me a couple hours that morning to be like, wait a second, silly, you still are going to die. It's just not going to be at this age, and so
Yeah.
what can you keep doing and keep carrying on? And
Mhm.
so
Like what did you learn from all of that, and what are you going to do with it now?
yeah, so I kept doing it. The
Yeah.
same thing that I had
So that's what you
immediately
found on the
pivoted.
other side of it.
That's what I found on the other side.
Mhm.
I found out what I authentically loved in my
Mhm.
life and what was really my priorities and what's important to me. And I still do the same thing. I spend as much time with my family and my kids as I can. They're doing great, and I say yes as much as possible
Mhm.
to things that feel good to me. And I don't think I would go back and change that information, even though it was wrong for the world.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a good way to live. Just remember though that no is a complete sentence,
No is a complete sentence.
and you can say no,
Yes.
especially if it's going to affect your rest time
Correct.
and the
Yes.
amount you get to rest.
You are right.
So.
Well, part of that whole journey too is between that and what makes me feel good is boundary setting and then
Mhm.
sticking to it. And then I've lost people because of that.
Yeah.
And if they really are meant to be in my life and they respect those boundaries, then they're
Yep.
still around. And if they don't, then
Too bad. So
see you
sad.
on Facebook. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was another big aha moment.
Nice. That's great. I love that. So I have one last question. What piece of advice would you give your 21-year-old self?
As much as your close your legs, girl. Stop it. Now I might edit that out because my mom's gonna watch this. But honestly, it would be center myself. Center myself. Stop centering partners as the end all, get all. I definitely dealt with some abandonment issues in my 20s, and I thought any love and attention was good love and attention. And it's not.
feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely not. So, and just remind myself it's okay to be you. Like, figure out who you are and then be it. And then the right people come your way.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe think about the future just a little.
I think it turned out okay. Like, I haven't had any big, huge destructive
No.
moments career wise or future wise. So
Yeah.
totally
There's
planning.
some things
It worked
that
out.
I wish when we were younger we would have started, financial planning a little
That's
younger.
fair.
Things like that.
High yield savings account. High yield savings account.
Right?
Don't buy a Subaru because of broken heart. That's why I bought that car, and it was nothing but grief. I didn't really need it. I didn't really love it.
No.
I just had a broken heart.
My friend calls me slow baroos.
Slow burn?
Slow baroo.
A slow baroo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I don't know why, but
Sorry, Subi, you are not getting any kudos on the show today. Because... Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. So great advice for your
Yes,
21-year-old
I
self.
think
I love
so.
it so much.
Thank you. All right, listeners, how do you feel about today's topic and the changes a woman goes through, which is the point? Just remember, aging, I don't know why it's such a bad thing. We always think it's such a bad thing. Society makes it a bad thing. I don't know. I've never been happier or healthier, to be honest.
I know, right? I'm a much better person now than I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
I just have much more to offer from what I've learned. I wouldn't change anything. I mean, I had not the greatest childhood, not the greatest teen years. I wouldn't change a thing because it's part of who I am. Like I am who I am because of all of that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just, yeah, stuff happens.
Love yourself. Love yourself through it all. And every decade seems to get better than the last one.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a better person now.
Yeah. So comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these questions and changes, and maybe something that you have held on to as a belief that you're changing. We'd love to know more about that.
All right. Now we have time for one more thing before we wrap up. The hat question. Yay! All right. This is where we have you pull a random question out of our hat, and the question will either be about relationships or happiness.
We might have to redo our questions. Okay.
All right. What do we got?
What's something quirky you love about yourself?
This is such a good one for you.
It is good. I'm pretty much just feel quirky a lot of the time. I think something I've always hated that I learned recently that makes me feel better is I've always been a little bit naive. Like I will just believe the rose-colored glasses and believe everyone is out here to be good like me and the people around me do. And then I feel silly when I get kind of bamboozled or tricked. But I was at a conference and they said being naive is a superpower. Like it
Mhm.
helps me to be more sensitive and see the best in people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say my na- how do you say
Naivety.
naivety?
Yeah.
We always get a new word on here. My naivety
Yeah.
is my quirk, and I love it now in the last couple months.
That's awesome.
How about
And
you?
my husband always used to call me the benefit of the doubt queen
Oh, okay.
because I the same. I mean, I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Well, maybe, and he'd be like, "Stop arguing with me." I'm like, "I'm not arguing." It's like maybe they really didn't mean to do that.
Right.
Maybe they're in a rush and they cut you off because they're on the way to the hospital. Like you
Right.
don't know
Right. I do.
someone else's story.
The kids used to get so mad. They're gonna hate me telling this. Like they've always been road ragers since they were like 6 years old. Ah, they just cut you off, mom, and they started saying, "Well, what if they have diarrhea? And they gotta
Exactly.
get
They gotta get to
home
the
right
bathroom.
now." And they'd be
Some
like,
people
"Oh my
gotta
god,
poop. Yeah.
it's dripping down their leg. They gotta go." Oh, wait, edit
That's
that
so
out
good.
too. I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
But yeah, but that's a perspective. You
Yeah.
gotta go. You gotta go.
Exactly. I know
So
you don't think about that kind of stuff. So, yeah. What's the question again? Let's see. What's something quirky you love about yourself? I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to like things that I love. I love things make me happy. Silly things make me happy. Like I love miniature things and I
oh
love
yeah,
oversized things. And so, I love Minnie Mouse and I love Squishmallows and it's like silly things like that. They just make me so happy and they make me smile. And like I'm in the store and I'm like with somebody and I'm like, look, and I get all excited and it's just the little things.
yeah.
Little
That's
things make me
awesome.
happy.
I guess that's quirky. I don't think that's
So
quirky. I think it's you being
yeah.
authentic. But
Yeah, I mean, it's me. It's a part of
right.
me, but I'm going to be 50 in a month, and I still get excited over stuffed animals and cute things I see in the store.
Yeah,
So
good. Yeah,
that might be. I don't know. That's the best I can come up with.
yeah, I like it. I like
So
it. Not being
all
embarrassed
right,
about what you love.
right, exactly. And I'm not.
It's
I
hard
don't
for
care.
women.
I'm like whatever. This is makes me if it makes me happy, makes me smile. I would like to think that other people want that for me.
The right
So
people for you.
exactly.
Yeah, I still love Mariah Carey, and I was so embarrassed. I love Mariah Carey after a lifetime of like classic rock and
Mm-hmm.
country music, and then Christian music, and I was like, oh my God, I love Mariah Carey. E equals MC squared. Love that album. And then I found one day, I was like, who cares? Mariah Carey is awesome.
There you
And I
go.
quit being embarrassed about musical tastes.
Yeah,
I was young then.
I'm not either. I don't. I'm like I listen to whatever I want to listen to, and if you don't like it, you cannot ride in my car.
There you go. That's another thing about getting older is we quit caring
Mhm.
what other people think about us.
I really do. I don't. I mean, there's some things, and I'm like, integrity things and things like that.
Well,
I
sure.
care, but
Or
it's what
morals
people
and
think.
yeah.
But otherwise, no, don't care.
Although if they think wrongly about you without
That
knowing
bothers me.
you,
Yeah.
then that's on them
That makes me
for
so
thinking
upset.
wrongly about you without knowing you.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then I can't fix it. I can't. I hate that. I hate thinking that somebody doesn't like me, that doesn't know me, and just like listen to somebody else or just came up with their own preconceived
Sure.
notions. Yeah,
That's on them though.
I know.
Not to sweat you.
But it drives me nuts because I just want to fix it.
Oh,
And I can't fix
pleaser.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Talked about that.
All right.
Cool. Good stuff. Good combo. Okay, so thank you so much for letting me share my thoughts and my feelings with everyone. You're a great interviewer. Thank you, listeners, for joining us in Unlocking Life. Remember, happiness grows when we share it, and relationships thrive when we nurture them. Before we go, Mindy, please tell us what is happening at Relationships Unlocked these days.
So Relationships Unlocked is doing a podcast every month with Life with Echo called Unlocking Life.
It's awesome. You
It's
should
awesome.
watch
You
it.
should totally watch
So
it
good.
every month. And what else? My book is coming along nicely, and my goal is to have my first draft completely done by my birthday, which is June 24th.
Okay.
I've got the first draft of half of it done,
Okay.
the teen side. I'm just waiting for her feedback to see if I need to add more content or if I got enough and I can move on to the adult side.
Exciting.
And just working on getting clients, doing events, things like that. I've got doing a lot of networking. I found some really good. Not that I'm doing a lot of networking. I found some really good groups.
That makes all the difference.
That I really really like. So learning a lot in these groups. Like it's not just networking; it's like education too.
Oh, that's nice.
So those are the difference. Exactly.
Very cool. Do you want to talk about what's happening in July yet?
Oh yeah.
As well.
So we're doing we are doing a oh my gosh, client appreciation event. And it's going to be me, Echo, and 5 other health and wellness type businesses. We're all going to be together at East Library, July 12th, and we are going to just have a customer appreciation. We're going to invite our past clients, and we're going to have games and fun activities at each booth. We're going to have snacks, and just let you guys know that let a lot of you, like for me, I have a lot of past clients from my previous business that don't necessarily know what I'm doing now. So same with you. You probably have a lot of past clients that don't know you're doing the self defense stuff. So I think all of us kind of have something like that where we can just enlighten our past clients. So that's what we're doing in July.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Because we've changed and we've pivoted.
So be on the lookout for invitations. We're waiting for the registration form to be created, and then I will make the email, the generic email, and everybody can send it out.
Cool. Yeah.
So
Nice. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
And
Thanks for putting that
then,
together.
Do we have any updates for Life of Becca? What's going on with you?
Yes. Last Sunday was my 50th birthday, and I released Unstoppable Me, which is type 1 diabetes guide and journey book for teens, tweens, and young adults. Something I really wished I would have had when I was growing up. I was diagnosed at 11, and there's not a lot of there's a lot of medical content out there, but there's not a lot of this is
Support.
Real life living with diabetes.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's very interactive. There's activities, a lot of cool information. I have special guest voices. My friend Courtney and my friend Tavia, and then two local Leah Vasquez and Maddie Anderson. They are both 15-year-olds that live here in Colorado Springs, and they've shared their stories, and you'll see their tips and tricks throughout the whole thing because you might as well learn from people that get it.
Right.
So pre-orders are happening now. I will pop a link in a comment somewhere. And then just working on my mental fitness coaching. I had started wanting to do some pods and groups of people. What I'm finding is people feel a bit hesitant to understand this work and are worried about being vulnerable in a group, and I'm getting more clients that just want to do one-on-one, which is great, and I appreciate that. So I'm happy to do groups for one-on-one coaching. And then self-defense classes, I've got 6 I think scheduled through the summer. One of them in Missouri, so they're happening all over,
and they're awesome.
Yeah,
I did one. It was a lot of fun.
It was so great. I'm sure you may have seen pictures on the net of our class. It was really good. It was super fun, and it's helping people. And we're going to do a real estate class.
Okay.
Women realtors.
So good.
Yeah, because
so important.
You never know who's going to show up
at an open house.
See a house, right? So so that don't have the date for that yet, but I have a couple of local realtors that are ready to get that going. So
all right. Well, I know a really good mortgage guy, and he knows a lot of female realtors.
Oh, okay, that's right. You do.
So you might want to connect
with the best mortgage guy,
right? You might want to connect with Troy.
Yeah.
And get some of his contacts because I think a lot of those ladies would probably enjoy something like that.
The wall choke, and they've got you up against the wall. That's the one I think when I think of realtors. Like there's so many walls that they can just hold you up against, and so that's gonna be a strong move to teach. So more to come there.
Yeah. So definitely chat with Troy. All right. Well, again, that sounds amazing. All of that you're doing, it's so cool. I love watching your journey on Facebook. Like what's next and what's new. I don't love hearing about your car bursting into flames though. That made me a little
lessons.
A little scared.
I'll have a new car by the weekend. Who gets to say that? Not everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
Not a good reason why though. So tune in June when we'll be talking about entrepreneurship as a dad and a husband. Until then, keep unlocking the life you love, one story at a time.
Excellent. One more thing, guys. Don't forget, secret word. We'll give you a hint. The secret hint, or the secret word is mom. Okay, put your answer in the comments. Until next time, guys. Bye.